Hello and welcome back. Today we are talking the RYA Day Skipper, your gateway into yachting and chartering and the industry. It opens a lot of doors. So first off, we're going to talk about what it is, why you need it, what to expect on the course, if there's a test, and some tips and tricks that I've got for you should you want to do your Day Skipper. And then I'm going to show you what a typical Day Skipper week practical course looks like with Sail Ionian in the Ionian sailing around the lovely Greek islands. So, without further ado, what is Day Skipper? The RYA Day Skipper is an internationally recognised qualification that proves you can safely take charge of a yacht in familiar waters by day. It bridges the gap between crew and skipper, teaching you navigation, boat handling, passage planning and decision making under real conditions. If you're planning a charter holiday, especially in places like Greece, Croatia or Spain, most companies will ask you for proof that you can skipper the boat. The Day Skipper certificate can be exchanged for an ICC, that is an International Certificate of Competence, which is the legal requirement to charter bareboats in many countries. In short, if you haven't got this qualification, you can't charter a boat. Now, before you can step aboard and do the practical course, you must first complete a Day Skipper theory course. This covers navigation, tides, collision regulations, meteorology, the kind of essential stuff you need to know and that you'll put in practice on the water. The practical will feel quite overwhelming, or just quite a lot to take in without having this groundwork in first. Many schools offer the theory online or in the classroom, and once you've got that under your belt, you're ready to tackle the hands-on sailing. Now, on a personal note, I did my theory course in a classroom over a course of 2 weekends, which worked great for me because I benefit much more from in-person learning. My partner, on the other hand, did her Day Skipper theory online over a couple of months on lots of little segmented training, and she said it was brilliant for her. So it really is up to you which version you do. Once you've completed your theory, you can go ahead and book your practical course. These haven't got to be done in the UK, they can be done abroad, they can be done in the Mediterranean, in Greece or Croatia or Spain. There's loads of different places you can go. Personally, I did mine in the UK in Falmouth. I found the conditions to be a bit more challenging, and that's something that I wanted to experience. You can go and do them in the Med, there's no problem at all. You won't have any tide, so you won't have to think about that for the week. Whereas if you do it in the UK, tide is a big factor. Or in short, it's up to you what you want to do. You may want to go and do it in the area that you want to go charter boats, so that you've got that familiarisation before you actually get the boat on your own. The choice is completely yours. Now, the practical course usually runs over 5 days. Your crew is usually about 4 to 1, 3 to 1 with the instructor, and you'll rotate roles throughout the week. Sometimes you'll be fully in charge of the yacht under the instructor's guidance, other times you'll be playing as crew and you'll be doing as you're told. Expect short coastal passages, some night sailing, and plenty of practice with mooring, anchoring, handling under sail, and handling under power. It's hands-on, but it's also supportive. The instructors are there to build your confidence step by step. The good news is there is no formal exam at the end of the practical course. Your instructor is continuously assessing you throughout the week, and by the final day, if you've shown safe seamanship skills, navigation skills and leadership, you'll be signed off as a Day Skipper. Think of it less as of a test and more of a journey of proving yourself. So here's a couple of important tips before you begin your Day Skipper. Number 1, do the theory first. Navigation, tides and rules of the road are all covered in the Day Skipper theory course. Don't skip it because you'll be needing those in the Day Skipper practical course later on. 2, come prepared. Brush up on your knots, practice at home if you can, learn a few basic ones, watch some YouTube videos. Learn some basic sailing terms, parts of the boat and points of sail are all good key ones, and bring a notebook. There'll be lots of times to make little notes as you're going along. Personally, I always have a notebook, and if I'm doing a planning of a passage or a pilotage, then I'll be there making lots of little notes, and quite often I quite like to draw out my pilotage plans so I haven't got to look at the chart at all. During the sail, I can literally just look at my book, see what I want to do and then get on with it. Number 3, be ready to lead. You'll be asked to plan passages and make decisions. Embrace the responsibility and grow with it. It is a key part of being a skipper, is being able to not only manage the boat safely, but also to manage the people safely that are there with you. So when you come to charter your boat later on, your friends, your family, whoever's with you, you know that you will be safe with them and they'll know that they can be safe with you. Number 4. Stay calm under pressure. Now, mistakes happen. There's a lot of moving parts on a boat and there's lots of things that can be influenced and lots of things that can change rapidly. So mistakes are inevitably going to happen. But staying calm under pressure is one of the key skills required as a skipper. And the instructors want to see you deal with that and recover. And that all goes towards your learning process. Number 5. Enjoy it. It's not just about learning. It's about building memories with your crew and gaining confidence behind the helm of your boat and letting you then go forward to take on your own adventures. So that is the RYA Day Skipper. It's your passport to charter holidays and the freedom of skippering your own yacht. If you're serious about sailing, this is the course that takes you from crew to captain. And trust me, the first time you take the helm on your own charter, you will be glad that you did it. For some of you, it might even open doors further into sailing, like it did for me. You've got coastal skipper, you've got yacht master. There are lots more courses that go on from that to give you more experience and to show more competence. But that's entirely up to you. As a hobbyist or as a charter holiday, you probably won't want anything more than day skipper. If you want to go and do some bigger work or you want to work in industry, you'll definitely want to look into those other ones later on. So now I've gone over what day skipper is, let me show you what a typical day skipper course is like with Sail Ionian in the Ionian for the rest of this video. Day 1 is all about familiarisation with the boat and the basics. Our instructor for the week was Mike. He brought real energy to the course, making the learning fun, clear and tailored to each of the students. He had a knack for expanding complex material in a way that clicked while coaching everyone according to their own learning styles. After a full safety brief on board about the boat, its emergency equipment and what to do in certain situations, it was time to crack on with the learning, and first up was some basic rope work. This was important to learn before we set off, as it would be used later that day when we moored back up again at our destination. The students were asked to plot out the passage plan for the day on the chart and then transfer it to the chart plotter, and then it was time to leave the dock and get underway. Once out in the bay, it was time to get the sails up for the first time. Mike demonstrated safe hoisting of the mainsail and the foresail, and then it was time to start sailing along the coast. During this time, the students get their first taste of tacking and boat manoeuvres under sail to grow in confidence both about their capabilities and the boats. A few hours later, we reached our first stop for the night in Civita. We get our first taste of mooring up. In this case, it was side 2 on a pontoon, so nice and simple. Once the boat's secured to the pontoon and all packed away, everyone's free to explore the town and enjoy their evening meal at the restaurant before getting ready for day 2. Day 2 kicks off with a lesson on engines, how they work, how to maintain them, signs to look out for and checks that should be done before every voyage. This includes outboard engines, however Sail Ionian only use electric outboards, so there's no additional fuel to carry or any spills to be worried about. Just make sure you recharge it and you're good to go. Once that lesson's done, it's now time for a lesson on how to dock at the marina, side 2 going both forwards and in reverse. This also includes the techniques for leaving the marina in different weather conditions, including a technique called springing off. Once everyone's had several goes at doing this and they are both safe and confident with this skill, we can then get underway for today's passage, which again has been planned by a student, plotted on the chart, and then plotted on the electric nav before setting off, and away we go. Now to sail you need wind, so there will be times like this when there isn't any. So you will either motor sail or just motor along without sails, allowing each crew member to show that they can navigate and hold a course heading competently. As we approach our stop for the night, Mike introduces the practice of med mooring as we moor up stern 2 with an anchor in the marina. This time it's Vasiliki. He tells everyone to take note as tomorrow they will all be practicing it themselves. Once the boat is tied up, secured and squared away, everyone's free to explore the town and enjoy their evening meal at the restaurant before getting ready for day 3. I'm sure you can see a pattern here at the end of the day. Day 3 starts off with med mooring practice that I previously mentioned. This is a key skill to master if you're planning on chartering in the med, as it's pretty much the standard way everywhere you go, with the only main variations being either using the anchor or a lazy line to secure the bow. To start with, the practice is just on an open wall, so you've got plenty of space to get the feel of the boat and its manoeuvring capabilities. Once everyone is comfortable with that, it's time to get out and get some sea miles in. During the duration of your course, you aim to cover about 100 nautical miles, so the days are a nice split of skills and sea time. In today's case, we've got a long trip up the channel we came down on day 1 and then over towards Vathi on Meganissi, where we will also do our night sail. Now, this is a day skipper course, so you are not expected to be sailing at night, but it aims to give you a bit of experience so that should you find yourself in that situation, you should at least be able to know what to do to stay safe. This is also the time where you put your theory course to good use, as you see different navigation and voyage lighting that you need to be able to identify to be safe. And of course, you would have plotted your night sail on the paper chart and then on the electronic nav to follow during the passage. The night sail isn't for the whole night, and if you're going nearer the end of the season when the sun sets earlier, you may even be back in time to catch last orders if you are so inclined. Day 4 begins a little later after a bit of a lie-in after the night sail. The morning begins with more med mooring practice, upping the difficulty as yesterday the wall was empty, but today it's full of boats, as you practice inside an actual marina alongside other sailors, so the pressure has increased. You now not only have to deal with the boats along the wall that you're parking in between, but also traffic that's coming in and leaving whilst you're practicing and doing your manoeuvre. Once everyone's happy, it's time for some more sea miles following another passage plan made by a crew member. On this day, the weather had turned a little bit, so Mike wanted to get out and get everyone some exposure to the elements, so that they could see how the wind affects the sails, how the things that you can do influence its effect on the boat, and just to get everyone genuinely more comfortable in testing conditions while still being safe. It's also at this time that you learn to reef the sails and how to shake them out when needed in a safe manner. Later in the afternoon, while stopping for a break in a sheltered cove, we also got to have a go with the electric outboard, see how it gets put together and how to operate it, and also how to put it back on charge so we could use it again later. Then it's time to head into the marina for the evening. This time we're going up the canal to the town of Lefkas itself, and moored up stern to, with a lazy line this time, to the pontoon. Told you you'd be doing a lot of med mooring. And once the boat's tidied up and squared away, it's off to town to find a restaurant and have an explore, ready for day 5. Day 5's here, and you've got a few more skills and drills to do before ending the course, mainly the man overboard drill. This is a very important drill that each day skipper candidate must be able to demonstrate competency in to pass their course, so a fair amount of time is spent getting this right, and rightly so. This day is also used for any other bits and pieces that anyone wants to practice to feel confident and competent in their abilities with, or that the instructor thinks needs to be done. Once all is done, it's time to head back to home base and finish off your week, mooring up for the last time and hopefully receiving your certificates and skipper licensing cards, because congratulations, you have now all passed and are now day skippers. During your week, you will have learnt a whole host of things, including how to manoeuvre the boat under sail and power, how to moor it up in the best possible way for the situation, how to tack, how to jibe, how to rescue a man overboard, and you would have used your theory knowledge of chart work using a compass, charts and electronic nav in a practical setting. Now here's the cool bit. Providing at least one person holds a day skipper qualification on board at the end of the week, Sail Ionian allow you to take the boat out for the next day for a day sail by yourself and skipper your first charter. Now, not many companies do allow this to happen, so it's really cool that it's something that Sail Ionian offers to their students at the end of their course. So there we are. I've gone over what day skipper is, why you need it, how to prepare for your course. I've gone over the exam, given you some tips and taken you on an example week practical course in the Ionian Islands. By the end of the week, you'll have done a route similar to this and have a nice shiny certificate and card to take home with you and a world of adventure waiting to be seized. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. If you have enjoyed it, please show your support by liking the video, subscribing to my channel and popping a comment below. If you really like what I do, please consider using the other support options linked below or by becoming a channel member here on YouTube. All your support goes a long way to help me bring the content to you. So thank you again, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.